What's My Line? Brought to you by Bayer Aspirin. Pure aspirin for pure pain relief. Bayer works wonders. And now let's all play What's My Line? And now from New York, let's meet our What's My Line panel. First, the delightful star of stage and television, Miss Arlene Francis.
And now the Tony Award-winning star of the award-winning musical hit, Cabaret, the delightful Joel Grey.
I'm delighted to introduce to you a talented star of stage and screen, soon to be seen in Bye Bye Braverman, the Clara Bow of the Pepsi generation, Phyllis Newman.
And thank you for calling me Clara Bow. It's my pleasure to introduce a debonair, handsome friend of mine who happens to be a foremost publisher from Random House, Mr. Bennett, Cerf.
And here's that delightful star of What's My Line, Tilton School, and heaven knows what else, John Charles Daly.
Miss Phyllis, it's nice to have you back, and
Thank
Joel,
you.
nice to have you visit with us again
Thank
on
you.
the panel. As for my two old buddies of many, many years, Miss Arlene and Bennett, I warn you, as I warn our two guests on the panel, that things are going to be a little rough in the next half hour, so brace yourselves. We've got some very interesting occupations. We'll also have a famous mystery guest before the panel a little bit later in the program, but right now, let's meet our first contestant. Will you enter and sign in, please? Maureen Mortal, right? Where are you from, ma'am?
I'm Plymouth, England.
From Plymouth, England? And is it Miss or Mrs. Mortal? Mrs. Mortals from Plymouth, England. How nice to have you with us. Mrs. Mortal, may I present the panel? Now, will you join me over here, and we'll let the audience in the theater and the audience at home know exactly what your line is. All right, panel, we can tell you that Mrs. Mortal is salaried, deals in a service, but there is a product which is very critical to the service so that you can roam almost where you will. And let's start roaming with Bennett, Cerf.
Mrs. Mortal, I hope you're not a member of that family that they say, what fools these mortals be. That's not your family, is it?
Oh, it's right.
Mrs. Mortal, do you perform the service that you perform at present in the United States?
No.
That's one down and 9 to go, Miss Francis.
Is the product that has something to do with what you do, Mrs. Mortal, alive?
Yes.
Is it an animal?
Yes.
Is it a four-legged animal?
Yes.
Is it an animal that one could get on?
Could.
Yes.
Could. Mm-hmm.
Is it therefore something other than a horse?
Yes.
Is it an animal that is ever found in the jungle?
No.
There are jungles and jungles.
I would, with your permission, Mrs. Mortal, ask you if we can modify it to a qualified yes. We tend to use the word jungle in a very broad sense and not be too specific about habitats and environments, so that I think very probably that what you had in mind is wild country rather than any specific application of terminology having to do with vast groves of trees or anything like that. Well, with Mrs. Mortall's permission, then proceed.
And I want to thank you, John.
Yeah.
And this animal, is it an animal that is ever hunted?
Yes, it has been. Mm-hmm.
Is it a very large animal when it comes to its full growth?
Yes.
Does it have tusks?
No.
Not a tusk in a carload. That's 2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Gray.
Is this animal very hairy?
Not particularly.
No, I don't think we can call him very hairy. That's 3 down and 7 to go, Miss Newman.
It's this big animal, and it's in England, and you do something to it, or for it. Is that right?
That's
I'm just
correct.
recapping. Is this animal, is it either a performer or in a zoo?
It's in a zoo.
Oh, thank you. She likes
Well, I think we'll throw a couple over on that account. Go ahead.
Well, this animal, then I so cleverly guessed is in a zoo. We have to find out what it is, right? Do a lot of people, when they come to the zoo, especially want to see this particular big animal?
I would say that it's among those occupants or inhabitants of a zoo. It
Do
has-
rhinoceroses have tusks?
Ask Bennett.
Is it in a family of very old animals, like the rhinoceros family?
That's a very good question. That's 6 down and 4 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Mrs. Mortal, is this animal, besides being found in a zoo, is it sometimes found around farms?
No.
No, I don't think we'd call it a farm type. That's 7 down and 3 to go, Miss Francis.
Well, is the animal either in the lion or tiger family?
The lion or tiger family.
No.
I knew you were going to ask that. That's 8 down and 2 to go, Mr. Gray.
Is this animal very, very tall?
Yes.
Is it a giraffe?
Yes.
Are you a giraffe sitter?
Well, I think since you found the giraffe, we won't hold you to being too absolutely specific. Actually, Mrs. Mortal is a giraffe keeper at the Plymouth Zoo in England. They got
What's the product? You said there was a product.
The giraffe.
giraffe.
Well, that itself is a product?
Yeah.
You call a giraffe a product?
Yeah.
A mother and father giraffe would.
Does that take care of that one?
I
But
thought she was the manager of the Rolling Stones.
No, but actually, Mrs. Mortal, how many giraffes?
19.
19 giraffes, and they are concerned in this. They're going to live in a natural habitat
That's
created
correct.
in England, but they have to be confined for a year, and they were concerned that the giraffes might become lonesome, I guess is the word, isn't it?
This is, well,
Mrs. Mortal,
Yeah.
what do you do when a giraffe gets a sore throat?
fortunately, that hasn't occurred yet.
You just slide up and down with a towel, I guess. But Miss Mortal lives with the giraffe and takes care of them, feeds them, and is your kind of companion as much as anything else, aren't you? Yeah. It's a wonderful occupation, and we owe a particular debt to Mrs. Mortal because she flew over here just to be with us and watch my line with a very interesting occupation, and thank you, ma'am. Nice to have you with us. We'll have another contestant for you in just a moment after this word. And now to meet our next contestant. Will you sign in after you have entered, please? Charles Rowley. Right, sir? Mr. Rowley, where are you from?
Somerville, New Jersey.
Somerville, New Jersey. That's not too far across the river.
No?
But how far down?
About 30 miles.
About 30 miles. You could commute.
I do.
Good, fine. Mr. Rowley, may I present the panel?
Hello.
Now, you join me over here, sir, and we'll let the audience in the theater and the audience at home know exactly what your line is. All right. Panel, we can tell you that Mr. Rowley is self-employed and deals in a product. And we'll begin things with Arlene Francis.
Mr. Rowley, is it a useful product?
Yes,
Is it a product that anybody on the panel might possibly have?
possibly.
Is it a product that is used for pleasure?
Partly.
Is it a product that is found out of doors?
Sometimes.
Small question. Whoa. All right. With Mr. Rowley's clarification, we would stress sometimes on the outdoors department.
All right. Thank you, John. Is it a product that is larger than a bread box?
Yes.
Does it have any moving parts?
No.
No moving parts. 1 down and 9 to go, Mr. Gray.
Is this product used by children, too? Sometimes. Is it have something to do with sports? No.
2 down and 8 to go, Miss Newman.
If I had it in my home, might it be on the bottom floor?
Possibly.
Would it show?
Possibly.
Could I display it if I wanted to and show everybody?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I could.
Yeah.
It doesn't move. Is it made of any metal or plastic? Is there anything
Partly.
metal or plastic about it?
Partly.
Could I bring it into the kitchen with me if I wanted to?
No.
No. That's 3 down and 7 to go. Bennett.
Mr. Rowley, you said this product was larger than a bread box. Is it possible for a human being to get inside of it?
Yes.
Do human beings sometimes get inside of it?
Yes.
Is this product used for transporting people possibly from one floor to another?
No.
No. That's 4 down and 6 to go. Arlene?
Mr. Rowley, if one gets inside of it, is it good for one's health?
Yes.
Does it have any... if you get inside of it and it's good for your health, would it be better to be in there wearing very little?
Yes.
Didn't want to go that far. Is it something akin to a shower or a sauna?
Yes.
Is it indeed one of those?
Yes.
Let's see now. S and S. What's the sauna I get at the better?
Bennett is hot tonight, isn't
Yes, sir. I'm steaming in a sauna, right? Is it a sauna, Mr. Rowley?
he? Right. Very good. I wouldn't want you to feel hurt, Arlene. I didn't throw them all over simply because you identified it. It's just to pay Mr. Rowley back in some part for having to bear with Bennett's puns that I threw all the cards over. Now, Mr. Rowley is president of Arctic Sauna Corporation.
That's right.
His granddad used to make saunas, right?
That's correct.
And he was wise enough to see that these were becoming very popular and went into business for himself only a few years ago, didn't he?
That's right.
What's the branch that you hit yourself with after the sauna?
Birch branches?
birch branch.
They're
Birch
called
branch.
beef duck.
You hit yourself?
You hit yourself with after a sauna.
Yeah, the only
During
difference...
it, not afterwards.
Bennett does that same sort of thing, but it isn't got any hot stones in it. He uses a hammer. He hits himself on the head. Because... Yeah, he beat me to it because it feels so good when he stops. That's why he has all those craters there. But the sauna is very popular, and it has very specific applications to what I guess really toning up your system, doesn't it?
It's a great place to relax, and it is a very good toner.
Very
you know.
good toner. Well, must say congratulations on your perspicacity in figuring out that sauna was going to come to the fore, and thanks for giving us a Sunday night. Nice
Thank
to
you
have
very
you
much.
with us. Good to see you. We'll meet tonight's mystery guest in just a moment, but first, this message. And now we come to the special feature of our program, the appearance of our mystery guest, for which, as you all know, the panel is blindfolded. Blindfolds all in place, panel?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Good. Will you enter mystery challenger, and after you've entered, will you step up and sign in, too, please?
All right.
As you know, panel, this time a different form of questioning, one question at a time, in turn moving clockwise, and we'll begin with Phyllis Newman.
Thank you, John. From that tumultuous reception, am I correct in assuming that you're a beautiful girl?
One down and 9 to go, Mr. Cerf.
No. Really, no?
Really, no.
Oh.
Mr. Cerf?
But those whistles almost always denote a female. Are you indeed of the female persuasion?
Yes.
Arlene?
Oh, it is a lady.
It's a lady,
It's
yes.
a lady. Are you in motion pictures?
No.
2 down and 8 to go, Joe Gray.
Are you on television?
Yes.
Besides now?
Yes.
Are you on a weekly...
Miss Newman?
Yes, do you appear regularly on a regularly scheduled show?
Would you like to try that again?
No.
No.
Yes.
Mr. Cerf?
Is it a panel show, something like this? I mean, the same kind of format?
Yes.
Miss Francis?
It's a panel show, something like this? There is nothing like this. No. Oh. Does it originate in New York?
Yes.
Mr. Gray?
Is it an afternoon show?
Yes.
Miss Newman?
Are there more than one person there?
No.
3 down and 7 to go,
It's
Mr.
just
Cerf.
one person?
Are you also known sometimes to play on the Broadway stage?
Yes.
What is that? Is it Joan Fontaine?
4 down and 6 to go, Mr. Gray.
Peggy Cat.
To get everything lined up, Miss Peggy, as we all know, is, 5 days a week on To Tell the Truth, which is in the afternoon. Used to be on at night.
What do you mean
Had
you're
you-
alone? You're not there alone?
We didn't say to alone.
didn't say I was alone.
No, over there she's...
Sitting
No,
here
I asked
alone,
if she
Bennett.
was- I wonder if there were
alone
other
there.
people, yes.
Yo, you'd be the first one to agree if she's sitting here with me. She's sitting alone. What's the matter? Huh? I got that in before he did, didn't I? And on the Broadway stage, Peggy's starring in Don't Drink
You shouldn't.
the Water. Right?
Right.
Right. And because I was waiting for somebody to guess you'd been on the panel with us. And
That's such a
you didn't.
disguise.
Yeah, the voice
really
is
Marvelous.
And then the one time you said some little thing, I thought I detected an English accent. That's what made me say Joan Fontaine.
I go with Joni Lewis.
Gee, I know what she's done. She's just slit her wrist.
You can't say that kind of thing to a Boston Irish girl, you know. We don't permit that in Boston, do we, Peg? Thank you very
Thank
much
you
for
very
coming
much,
to
John.
visit
Nice
us.
to see
Good
you.
to see you. You've done better than I thought you would, panel. And I offer you congratulations. We'll have another contestant after this word. And now our final contestant. Will you enter and sign in, please? Bobby? Hearn, right, sir? All right. Mr. Hearn, where are you from?
Atlanta, Georgia, sir.
Atlanta, Georgia.
Yes, sir.
Nice to have you with us. Mr. Hearn, may I present the panel? Now, if you'll join me over here, we'll let the audience in the theater and the audience at home know exactly what your line is. All right, panel, we can tell you that Mr. Hearn, or Bobby Hearn, is self-employed and he deals in a product. And we'll begin things with Joel Gray.
Does this product, is it something that both men and women could both use?
Yes, sir.
Could children use it?
Yes, sir.
Is it found usually in the downstairs of the home?
Sometimes.
What, John?
Well, it could be, but I wouldn't take the answer.
It's more likely to be found in the upstairs.
Well, now you can get a no. That way we can knock him off. That's 1 down and 9 to go, Miss Newman.
Then is one likely to see it outside? You use it outside of the house.
Yes, ma'am.
Does it have any moving parts?
No, ma'am.
That makes
Oh.
it 2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Mr. Hearn, is this product consumable?
You mean, can it be used up in those terms?
Yes, not,
you don't mean to
I
ingest
take it it's not food or drink, but it can be used up.
Yes, sir.
Is that correct?
Sometimes.
Is it ever used for either transportation or sports purposes?
Yes, sir.
Would it be sports purposes?
Yes, sir.
It's something that is used in a particular sport.
Yes, sir.
Is it used, did somebody take it in their hands to use it?
Yes, sir.
Could, sometimes. Mhm.
Is it round?
Yes, sir.
Is it some kind of a ball?
Yes, sir.
Is it a hard ball rather than a soft one?
It's hard, sir.
Is it used in baseball?
No, sir.
No. That's 3 down and 7 to go. Arlene?
Is it, however, used in an outdoor sport?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it smaller than a baseball?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it either golf or ping pong?
Yes, ma'am.
And there I am again. Do you hit it with a stick?
Yes.
Is it a golf ball?
Yes, ma'am.
Very good. That's fine. Now you've identified, what does he do with golf balls?
Well, since he deals in the product, I presume he either makes them or sells them.
No, I think he's probably a caddy for the Masters tournament.
No.
I know what he washes them.
He tries to find them when
I'm
they
going to
get...
throw all the cards over. Just see, it's very interesting, actually, because Bob invented something. And with this invention of his, he finds them.
They've
More
got radium
specifically,
on them?
he retrieves lost golf balls. He invented you'll have to
retriever.
explain it, Bob, better than I do. It looks like a harrow, but it's rubber discs. And he drags these along on the bottom of water holes. And the discs spread, and he picks up the golf balls. How many do you pick up roughly? Would you say
We average about 1,000 a week.
About 1,000 a week?
Are they finders keepers?
Yes, ma'am. I sell them back to the golf professional of each club.
You sell them back to the fellow that lost it, huh?
And
Good for you.
Just so that 1,000 a week doesn't bother you too much. Actually, he works several golf clubs, including the Augusta National.
Marvelous.
And here he is, a good businessman already, and he's going to enter the University of Georgia in the fall. Imagine if he starts this way, Bennett, we ought to hire him right now. And thanks very much for coming and joining us. Good to have you. Again, Phyllis, it's nice to have had you with us again. And Joel, nice to have you for your second visit. Hope you enjoyed it. And good night, Miss Arlene Francis.
Good night, John. Happy summer, Joel.
Thank you, Arlene. Good night, Phyllis.
Good night, Joel. Good night, Bennett.
Arlene wants me to tell you that Joan Fontaine sends you her regards, John. Good night.
Oh, you mean me? Oh, well, send mine right back to Joan. Good night, Bennett. And thanks to all of you for being with us on What's My Line.
What's My Line is a CBS Television Network production in association with Mark Goodson and Bill Cotton. It's Francis Gown from Bonwood Color. This is Johnny Olson speaking. Tonight's program was pre-recorded.